Hey, AfterBuzzers, you are tuning in for the Scorpion After Show, episode 16. Keep it in checkmate. They play chess, and I know nothing about chess, so stay tuned.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Yes. I can't sing this. I would be in my head voice. That's what you tell me, right? When I sing, I feel like you're like, just let it out. You're in your head voice. And I'm like, I don't sing, Susannah. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't get it.
This is a classic, though.
Yes, this is such a classic. Hey, everybody, welcome to AfterBuzz TV. You are tuning in for the Scorpion After Show, episode 16, Keep It in Checkmate. I am Monse Bolanos, here to discuss this episode with you, like always, for the last 3 seasons. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Monse Bolanos, MonseBolanos. You can also find Susannah.
Me. You
Yes.
can find me at Susannah_Kim, SUSANNAH_KIM.
Yeah. I like the episode.
I love this episode,
It was
actually.
really good.
Yeah, I surprisingly really liked it.
And you know what's funny? We had no couple stuff.
That's true.
Like, at all.
Nothing
I think
romantic.
there was one moment, I didn't even write it down. I think there was one moment where Toby may have said something about his fiance or whatever.
Right.
But literally, no couple stuff whatsoever. We got no Paige and Walter together.
Right. It was all family stuff.
All family stuff.
Family, yeah.
Yeah, but I really liked the episode.
I loved this episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a while where I've been like, oh my god, I actually really like this episode, but the writing was really good.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. I'm kind of disappointed they didn't do a Valentine's episode.
You're right.
Like, what are you doing,
That would have been
Scorpion?
such an opportunity.
I don't understand.
You're so right.
Why? I don't.
We could have had Valentine's Day with our new engaged couple. It would have been our first Valentine's Day for Paige without what's his face.
I don't know.
Tim?
I actually got you a Valentine's
Oh,
Day
you're
gift. Don't
so
get
cute.
excited. It's
Okay.
not anything crazy.
Oh.
But I did get Susannah a Valentine's Day gift.
She's so cute.
I got you some napkins that say "I love my kitty." It doesn't
That's
say
cute.
kitty. It says "I love," and then there's a picture of like a kitty, guys.
So appropriate.
Yeah, so
I
appropriate.
do love my kitty.
Because you're a crazy cat lady.
Yeah,
And so I was
so
like,
cute.
hey, happy
And I'm
Valentine's
also very
Day.
messy, so there.
There you go. I'll use them on
Perfect.
special
So
occasions
cute.
to
I'm
clean up
never gonna
important
use them.
things like
Yeah.
tequila and stuff. You
You're
know,
right, yeah.
all the important things.
Have a cat party.
No, but seriously,
So
why
cute.
didn't we do a Valentine's episode, Scorpion?
I don't
I'm
know.
so confused.
That would have been amazing.
It's like everyone does a Valentine's Day
Yes,
episode.
even, like, the small sitcoms.
Modern Family. And
Yeah.
they did it like a week in advance.
Right, yeah.
Because theirs airs Wednesday,
Wednesdays,
the day
yes.
after. They even
They
did
don't
it a
want it
week
before.
in. Right. Like, come on, Scorpion. I
You
was
guys.
a little
Yeah,
disappointed.
And it was the day before
the
Valentine's
day
Day.
before. How are we just going to skip all that?
Yeah, that would have been a great opportunity. We could have gotten some really good stuff.
I thought it was gonna, like, even though I knew the name of this episode last week.
Right.
I was like, oh, but we'll still incorporate Valentine's in it.
You would
Like,
think.
it's gonna be Valentine's
There's
Day.
so many too. Cabe's got his new woman. They could have done something really cute and
Right.
small there, like he doesn't know what to do.
So
She's
many
young.
things.
Yeah.
Now we have to wait a whole year.
Yeah.
Scorpion.
Don't mess it up next year.
Listen.
Season 4.
Season 4. Don't mess it up because we'll start throwing chairs in here. All right. But this episode, good.
Yes.
I'm glad it was
I
good.
loved it.
Me
I
too.
love this episode.
Me too. I was really into it, and I didn't think I was going to be.
Yeah. I mean, just lately I've just been kind of
Right.
meh about the show. It's been tough to love, but this one was very easy to believe.
Yes.
The jokes. The writers got jokes today.
So good.
A lot
And
of
the
stuff was
best.
so funny. Yeah, and a lot of Walter was really funny.
Mhm,
He's got really good like looks and like weird facial expressions. I loved it.
Yeah, those are very
about
important. The subtleties that this show brings at its best is like amazing. And this episode did that. A lot of subtle jokes, subtle looks that just made it so funny. Before we get into the main part of this episode, why don't we talk about the side story, which was shocking a little bit. Happy
Story, yeah.
and her dad.
I know.
A little shocking, I mean, in the sense that we just haven't seen him in forever. All of
Right.
a sudden, you're going to bring him back and you're going to tell us he's arrested and going to prison?
I know, but tell me I didn't. For you guys that have been watching us consistently and listen to us and watch us every week, tell me I did not call this a few weeks ago. I was
Yeah.
like, something's gonna happen with Happy's dad because I feel like Cabe is gonna be the one to walk Happy down the aisle. Right?
Yes.
I said that. I was like,
Yes.
something's gonna happen with him. I don't know what happens, and now we know he did go away. boy. I knew it. I knew they were going to use
Yeah.
Cabe as like the sort of father figure-ish. But she already had a father figure, so they got rid of him.
How was it going to be Cabe? Right. What was, yes. You did call that a couple weeks ago.
I loved how emotional she was about it, too.
She was. You know, there were things about it. I liked how we started off the episode on the roof, them playing chess themselves, right? And that was all great. And it was like the whole sneakiness of it through Cabe. It was like, what? Why are you being sneaky? Type of thing. And we find out that this bad guy called Sonny Dubin, whatever they're,
Sure.
One of them. Bad guy is being arrested for all of these horrible things he's done, and they want Happy's dad to basically testify against him, which can go horrible. This is a really bad guy. Obviously, this guy can send a hit on him.
Right.
And Cabe was trying to be helpful, and Happy was so mean to Cabe.
So mean.
And I was
like, it was a misplaced anger, for
yes.
sure. Yeah. I thought that too.
I was so kind of annoyed by it.
I know. I know. I feel bad for him.
Right.
Yeah.
And I knew what they were doing. I'm sure it was part of the writing, part of the episode. But it really upset me. Even at the very end. It gets better. But like throughout the episode, you know, she stays home while they're doing the mission. Coincidentally, Cabe cannot go on this mission because he wouldn't be allowed in this country because he has like a CIA or a Homeland that's
Security.
what they mean. Homeland Security. So he also has to stay home. And so, you know, throughout the episode, she's trying to figure out a way to help her dad.
Right.
And like doing it in a very
I know.
Wow.
You want to break your dad out of jail,
prison,
and let him escape. Meanwhile, you're working for Homeland.
Seriously.
So weird.
All of that, I was kind of like, this is how you want to get him out?
I know.
A little unbelievable because of the people you're connected with.
Exactly.
You would put everyone in jeopardy, including Cabe.
And the job, too.
And the job, everyone.
The team.
Scorpio would no longer exist.
Right,
like, if you got
possible.
caught as doing this, you know? So I didn't like that that's the way she wanted to get him out.
Right.
I wanted it to be a more, like,
she could find out like evidence about something that happened. Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Just something more that she found out and was able to help him to be like, oh, you know, I found out about this, use this, and maybe get less than 2 years. Because it was only 2 years. I mean, I don't know what it's like to go to prison. I'm sure being there a day, I couldn't handle it. But the 2 years, you know, to get down to 6 months, whatever. But I didn't like it. That bothered me.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Me too.
A little bit.
Yeah, it was one of the only things I was kind of like,
yes.
That, and there was something else too, but yeah.
Yes, we'll talk about the others. I think I know what you're talking about. And then at the end of the episode, you know, she kind of snaps at him again because I loved that they show him going to prison. Like, he turns himself into Cabe. He has to do it by midnight. And she had explained to him the plan. Yeah. So she thinks the plan is in effect.
Right.
And so he's looking, you could see through the security, he's literally doing everything that she said. And he doesn't go through with it because he knows this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. It was really sweet. I mean, she tells him, you have to walk me down the aisle. Right. She gets emotional in a way we don't see Happy get emotional.
She totally broke down.
She totally broke down. And it was nice to see that is Happy. Right. I just hated the anger that she took out on
I know. But then, like, in the end, once he was there for her and she actually went and, like, hugged him, that was big. And for Happy to decide to, like, go and hug someone, you know, we don't really see her as a hugging type. So that was really sweet.
I'm glad that's the way it ended. If it would have ended with her being upset,
no,
I would have been real upset with the episode.
It's kind of like an understanding, like, okay, well, now you're... And they even said, Toby acknowledged, like, you know, you're the dad figure now for all of us. You know, you're the guy that has our back. And I think it's sort of implied now that he's going to be walking her down the aisle.
Right.
I love
Maybe she'll have both walking her down the aisle.
Dad's going to get out of prison?
Maybe. Why not?
We'll see.
Yeah. I mean, just saying. You know? Because, like, I don't want her to get married and her dad not be there.
Yeah, that would be sad.
That would be sad. So it's kind of like maybe they can both do it.
Yeah, he gets out on parole or something.
Yeah, we'll see.
Cabe has to escort him down the aisle.
Because he has to be handcuffed. So.
He walks the dad and the dad walks Happy.
Exactly. But like I said, I'm glad it ended on a positive, not in the negative that it was going towards. All right, and then we have like the pretty much the main storyline that I really liked, surprisingly.
Yeah,
shocking.
I liked it too.
We don't start off this episode at the garage. We start off on the roof, but then we move to the garage, obviously. And I was like, what are they doing? Are they arm wrestling with a robotic arm, each of them? I couldn't believe that's what I was seeing them do.
They always have such ridiculous things that they're working on.
It's like,
although we haven't gotten any new Remember for a while we were getting a lot of inventions from Walt?
From Walter.
Yeah.
Yes, we haven't gotten that. You know, that's nice. We also didn't get any mentions of Tim, which was nice.
That's true.
Bye, Tim. But they're wrestling with robotic arms. So instantly, it's kind of like a foreshadowing of like this episode is going to be a battle between Walter and Sylvester
Right.
till the end. Not necessarily with these robotic arms, but in another capacity.
Trying to show us like how competitive they are.
Actually, before we go into it, there is another tiny little storyline, right? Ralph.
I know, I was thinking that too.
Ralph, yeah.
I love that.
Me too. At the beginning of the episode, we get it at the beginning and at the end, which is nice. To remind you of what took place.
It was the other like family storyline, sort of.
Yes.
Yeah.
A little smaller, definitely, but super funny, super cute. Ralph goes to the boys for advice. To the boys.
And I love that they're like, what do you need? Physics? Calculus?
Yes!
This tiny little child, and they're like, are you working on physics or calculus?
What do you need? What numbers?
I could barely spell cat at that age. Like, they're like, you need in physics? But yeah, he's like, no, with girls. And they're like, sorry, I can't help you.
Yeah, but then he still tells him.
Yeah.
And then they all seem to, like, still want to help. Even Sylvester was
Totally,
like, oh,
they try.
He basically has two girls that asked him out to the dance, and he doesn't know what to do.
Ralph's growing up so fast.
So fast.
Oh my god, he looks so much older too. He's starting to hit growth spurts. Man, I'm like, who's that kid? He's getting tall.
Getting tall. I'm sure he's taller than me already.
Right.
But they all give their own suggestions, which I love. Walter's like, take them both. Alternate dances, share your time. It's like, Walter, you're
no.
that's the worst.
Don't give advice.
Don't ever tell anyone anything. Sylvester gives them a statistic of like, it doesn't matter. You're not going to end up with this person.
Right.
Because statistically, it's like, Sylvester, what are you doing? What are you doing with your life? Go away. You two go play with your robotic arms. And then Toby asks, which I was like, yeah, that makes sense, but nobody thinks of that. Nobody's going to think of that moment, especially an 11, 12-year-old.
Right.
He asks him about his mannerisms as to when he was talking to them.
Do you remember?
And it's like, I barely remembered what I did walking into this room. Like, what? But I like how each of them had their own advice.
Their own useless advice.
Useless advice.
Not helpful.
So true. Paige walks in on this happening.
Love it.
And is not a fan. Which I wouldn't be either.
And he's like, she's like, what are you talking about? Nothing, sociology. So cute.
She's not a fan. You know, it's her little boy asking these geniuses who don't really know anything about women.
Yeah.
Like, let's be real. And she even, she's like, next thing you know, you're going to teach them about football.
Yeah, that was my favorite line. I actually laughed out loud when I was watching it. She was like, what's next? You're going to teach them how to play football? And then Walter's face was so good. The face he makes when she says that. He makes like this weird face.
Like he's
and
not
then they
sure.
move on. And then he goes forward and asks, I think that was sarcasm.
And then Toby's like, no,
it wasn't sarcasm.
She really wants you to teach him.
More sarcasm.
Yeah, she really wants you to teach him football.
Loved that. Loved
Very
those few
funny.
lines. I love Walter's face this episode. He had a lot of really good expressions.
He did.
Hilarious.
So good. And then at the end of the episode, Ralph goes to the boys to ask advice on, what is he asking?
The tie. He was like, should I go with green because it makes my eyes, or purple because it makes me look older?
Right. And the boys use a really weird way to explain it to Ralph.
Right.
Using a microscope.
I guess
first
it's a
one.
Genius analogy.
I mean, he understood it.
Yeah.
He totally got it. He understood that Paige felt kind of like thrown to the side.
Yes.
And so they were like, don't do that.
And you see the realization on his face, too. He's like, but my mom's not like an old, my mom's not useless or whatever. She's great. I love when he says that, It's like, oh, I love that you're aware of how awesome your single mom is,
Right. But still, mom felt that way. And so he goes, he gets it. And he asks her for help on how to dance.
I know, so cute.
Very cute.
And very appropriate for him to ask her about that, you know? Because it's not something the genius would help with, obviously.
Not at all.
Not that they were helpful anyway, but...
And I loved that he's leaving, and Walter's like, hey, good boy. I mean, I didn't love it that it was like a dog.
It could have been good job.
Good job. But I really like that.
Yeah.
That was cute.
That was so cute.
That was like, yes.
And then for him to have this moment of like, wow, look at me helping other people. And then Toby's like, it's the blind leading the blind. And then that look he gives again. So
the same
funny.
look.
God.
I think I know what you mean, but I'm not sure.
Yeah. Oh, God. So good.
So
I loved
good.
him this episode. And it's so great because this show's not about being funny, but they're still able to be so funny on it. Yeah.
They are. Exactly. Like, their funniness, it's not jokes.
Right, yeah.
It's not like
it is some like some of it's like word like puns and stuff, and that's funny. But yeah, like a lot of it's like so they're just awkward and situational.
Right, and it's the actor that's making it funny.
Right,
you know, like that's hard to do.
Yeah,
so.
they play these like weird, awkward genius characters. So
yeah, totally. So the main mission is we're trying to save this CIA undercover spy, whatever you want to call her, informant, whatever you want to call her, named Natalia Abelev. She is in danger because this other agent was killed who had this like list of secret spies and agents that were like under a certain code, and they were starting to decode it. So what they didn't want anyone to get killed. They had saved most of the agents on this list, but not Natalia.
Right.
And so they had to go in there and save Natalia. They had to go to Sardovia. Sardovia. That's where they went. I love that they make up names.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, this kind of sounds real, so I'm going to believe you, because it sounds...
a mixture of a couple other countries.
Of a couple other countries, yeah. And they have an agent that's CIA agent Markman, who's giving them all this information. Basically, it's like, this is the code word, green beans. She knows that means bad. We need to get to her. We need to get her out of this country before they realize she's a spy. Boom. So they all head over there, except Cabe, coincidentally.
Right.
Can't go.
Right, which is great. We never see that.
We never see that.
Yeah.
And I was actually surprised at how they were like, okay.
Yeah, that's true.
I felt that,
Okay
not that big of a thing, but I did feel like they had no problem with Cabe not going.
Right.
When I feel like it should have been fought a little bit. Ooh, I have to cough. Talk.
Maybe. Oh. But with Happy, too, because Happy didn't join them for the trip. I mean, with them, I guess they sort of acknowledged it a little, like saying like, oh, it's kind of weird, and they're like, oh, she has something going on with her dad.
Right.
With Cabe, yeah, I get what you're saying.
It's kind of like, wait, he's not going to be there?
Right.
How do we have any authority?
Person.
Yeah, like real authority.
Right.
It's like
But I guess it's because he has all that authority.
Right.
That he can't go.
So he ain't there. But they got to go and participate in this chess tournament.
Yeah.
To get close to Natalia to give her the code word. And it's really funny because they have to play online to make it into this tournament. There's like a wild card that they can get into.
I love when they're like, we don't play chess.
What did that remind you of?
I knew it. See, I totally knew you were going to think of it too. I know, I wrote it down too.
Like
Friends reference, yeah. I knew it. I knew that you were going to think of that. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. We couldn't get through it without
right.
We haven't talked about it before now, guys, but it's the exact same Friends reference of when they're talking about football, right?
Season 3.
Yes.
It is the Thanksgiving episode of Friends.
We can't
Season
play football.
3. We can't play football.
Says who? Your mom?
Mommy? Yeah.
Yes.
Literally.
That's exactly what that
literally,
was.
we don't
Same
play
moment.
football.
Oh, that's awesome.
Same exact thing. Go back and watch Friends.
Loved
It's a great episode. They try and play touch football.
So
it's really funny. It's
I knew
Thanksgiving.
you were gonna think of that.
We don't play chess.
So great.
I wish Toby would have been
Not
like,
anymore.
says who, or
Yeah.
somebody. I wish Cabe would have said, says who, your mommy? Yes.
That would have been great.
So good. But they don't play chess anymore because they got in a huge fight playing chess.
Yeah.
Where
Threw a rook in the wall.
Yeah, and it was Sly, which was
out of
so
all people.
funny because you don't think it's him.
Yeah, so they pan to every person
single
first.
person,
Yeah.
and then it's like, oh, Sly.
Yeah, that was
who
funny.
gets upset.
It was funny. See, even the camera, even that was funny, you know?
How
They
it
did a
was,
great job.
exactly. It was funny because they show you like what made him so upset, and it was Walter basically dirtying his chess pieces with mucus. That way he wouldn't want to touch it and he wouldn't want to play.
He knows what a germaphobe he is.
Because he's such a germaphobe.
Hypochondriac, yeah.
And he goes crazy and, knocks or throws a hook into the wall.
Yeah.
And so they don't play chess anymore. It's a serious thing.
It's pretty funny.
Yeah. And I was writing something down. I didn't finish it, but it was something about, maybe you'll remember, Sylvester's like, it's a lot more than just this. There's a lot of strategy. After the first 3 moves, there's like X amount of possible moves.
Right.
That was crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know nothing about chess. I don't know how to play.
Right.
Do you know how to play?
I mean, kind of, but it's for smart people. But I like how they said it's not just about like math and whatever. It's like a social game, which is weird because then you would think that the geniuses might not be as good at it,
Right.
because they've got this weird social
like almost like poker
issue.
Like your face and how you make your decisions, like everything shows how confident are you in everything. Listen, I don't know anything about chess. Guys. I know there's a pawn and a queen, and you're trying to do something.
Yeah. Trying to get to the other side.
Trying to get to the other side, but you also need something. I don't know. I can play checkers, guys. Y'all want to play checkers? Let's do that one. But yeah, so we're finding out that they can't do this. But they both need to get into the game in a wild card position, and I loved how they showed them training or like prepping, for the game. Like even like Sylvester, they showed his fingers moving, he was like gonna move a
ridiculous mouthpiece.
He had a mouthpiece because he grinds his teeth from it because it stresses him out too much, and that's where they were playing the song "You're the Best Around," and then they showed the little montage. That was so great. They both make it into the wild cards. Yeah. That was hilarious.
Walter's little thing.
Yes, because Sly thinks he did it first. And he's like, I did it first. And Walter's like, nah, I haven't had time to do this.
Right? But what I loved was that in the thing it says, I won first. So he already knew that Sly would get in. I kind of like that, yeah.
I won first. It's like a little gif of him moving, and it says, I won first.
It's pretty lifelike, right?
So good. That was so funny. And the way he said that, so lifelike, right? Like, he was like, isn't this great? Like, he really had no idea how annoyed Sylvester was in that moment. Like, it was so good. It was so genuine. So they made it. They're on their way to that location, and that one to do the tournament, and immediately the agent that they were in contact with is like being arrested.
Yes.
Immediately.
Yeah, so they're already in trouble.
And
I love that they're running from like the police, like people who you normally go to for help, you know?
Yeah. And they're like, okay, we have to save her on our own.
Right.
Okay, everybody calm down. Everybody needs to calm down. What do you think you're doing?
Always thinking that there's some sort of like ninja / CIA agent /
And in this situation, it's like if this were true, they would not be able to move on by themselves.
Right.
You have no idea about anything.
You don't even have Cabe with you.
You don't even have Cabe with you. But, you know, it's Scorpion. Yeah. So we're going to let them do it. We're going to let them do whatever they want. So they get in there and, like, they realize they're not even in the same pool as Natalia. So there's a lot to get done before you can even reach
to her,
Natalia. And Natalia has, like, security around her. Yeah. She's like a god.
She's Beyonce. Yeah.
Beyonce of chess. I like that. I like that.
She's
That's a good one.
Of chess.
Queen bee of chess. I could not believe she didn't win Album of the Year.
I know.
I know this is not about the Grammys, guys. I know we're talking about Scorpion. How confusing. She did not win Album of the Year is beyond me.
Know, it's a weird world. I don't know how anyone's winning anything these days. I don't know what's happening in this world.
Josh, thank you. It's our engineer. Yeah. Josh. Josh. So we quote a lot of Friends.
So much Friends.
And when you walked away, we were like, Josh.
I actually know the episode you're talking about.
Joshua. Oh, he doesn't like Josh? No, I don't.
I actually prefer Josh.
Okay. Perfect. See?
No, I don't.
No, I don't. Literally, you walked away, and that's what we said to each other. And then you walked back in, and we were like, oh, did he hear us? Or you went, or you got on the, I think you got on the mic with us, and we're like, oh, did he hear us?
Yeah.
But yes, Josh. Joshua. Anyways, Josh. Yeah, so they're there. There's a lot to get done before you get to Natalia. This girl's important. The Beyonce of chess. How are they going to get to her? They got to play a lot of people. I loved this montage, too. That they're showing them as they're playing the people and knocking them down.
Yes.
Everything about that was
so
good.
Funny.
They're so funny.
This episode was so funny. I think that's why I liked it so much. I love comedy and all that. I think I loved it because it was so funny.
And not slapstick funny. It was legit, like, this is funny.
It was like subtleties. Did a lot of like dry
good
sarcasm.
Totally.
Loved it.
That montage, you see Sly put on the mouthpiece. He starts like talking, grinding his teeth. And then the next person he plays, he's like, well, I have 3 ways to beat you.
Yeah.
Which one should I do? Walter's over here. He doesn't. The first opponent wants to shake his hand, and he doesn't. And then he beats him, and then wants to shake his hand.
Right.
And then is confused as to why the guy didn't want to shake his hand. That face, he was like, "Why don't you want to shake my hand?" It's like you just. And then the next guy he beats, he like yawns, and I loved what he asked him. Is it your first time?
Is it your first time playing? Yeah.
I would have lost my mind on that.
That's
like if somebody said that to me after spending weeks, months, who knows, prepping for this tournament, and you knock me out and you're like, is it your first? I would have slapped him so hard.
Right.
I loved all of that montage. I loved it so much.
What is this? I wrote down nickname Susie.
Yes.
What was that?
Susie.
I can't remember what it was.
Can I call you Susie?
Yeah.
But my name is Precious. I'm sorry, Precious. I can't call you that. Susie, I'm going to be straight with you. That is also from Friends. Wow. We can't. Guys, I'm sorry. We should cover Friends. We should
I quote friends at least once a day, if not more.
100%. Susie, I'm gonna be straight with you.
What
Because
did they say?
when they're okay, so Sly is like, do you know what my nickname was?
Oh yeah,
He's like, Susie.
Well, yeah, when he brings up the chess
When he
vulture,
brings it-
yeah.
and he
Oh,
says,
God.
no, chess vulture. Susie is what he responds. Susie.
That's so funny.
It is. Why that
guys,
name?
The writers.
Like, why Susie?
They killed it.
So freaking funny.
So funny.
So they have to play each other to get to Natalia. They were both in the same pool, and they're trying to convince each other to forfeit
Right.
so that they could get to Natalia faster. But it's like, come on, man. Like, y'all just play.
Right.
Y'all just play. They do play, and it gets a little intense, like always. Sly actually wins, which is shocking. Did you think he was gonna win?
No.
No, not at
Yeah.
all. I did not think he was gonna win.
Right.
He wins. Walter goes back to his old ways and sneezes on his pieces to again make him not want to touch
Right.
the pieces
But
in
he
play.
was prepared. He had his glove.
He had his glove. That is so freaking funny.
So funny.
He had his glove, and he was able to make the move and win. Checkmate. He gets so excited. He
Yeah.
turns the table upside down.
Banging
He's
the
out
table.
banging the
He's
board.
like, caw-caw.
Caw-caw.
He's like vulture cawing.
That's so true. That is so freaking true. And he thinks, that's it. I'm going to go play Natalia, give her the code word. We're going to save her. And he disqualifies himself because they were not able to take the official score. Right. The judge wasn't able to come see the points and how he won and all that good stuff. So he was disqualified. At the same time, Walter was disqualified. So the third person gets to play, or the person in third place gets to play Natalia by default. Now, while we have these guys playing chess over here, we got Toby and Paige trying to do the escape.
Yes.
This whole time, they're like trying to find an escape route.
Like Shawshank Redemptioning her way out of the freaking bathroom.
Seriously. So freaking funny.
Really?
So good.
She didn't have her spoon, but she used her heel. Not even a heel.
Not even a boot.
Like a boot.
Like a booty. I have one. I know exactly the type of heel she was using. Yeah, so because Natalia has all the security, they realize that the only way to get her alone, and it just happens to be she has male security.
Right.
The only way she can be alone is going into the ladies' restroom. The problem is the ladies' restroom has no exit, but the men's restroom does.
Right.
Of course it does.
As a window, yes.
As a window, of course.
How dare they?
So there's a wall sharing these restrooms, and they have to make a hole in the wall. And Paige uses a $200 shoe.
Yes.
But, you know, they explain, which I liked, they explain how it's like, this is really old. The chances of you being able to get through this should be very easy.
Cheap sheetrock or whatever.
Right. So I like that they said that, because it's like, obviously, I can't grab my shoe and knock this wall down. So I like that was like addressed. It was like, don't worry, this is why it's going to happen. I think they even mentioned the Cold War, which, you know, like, it's like, this is some really old stuff. It's going to go right through. So she starts making a hole, and it's funny because sometimes they would cut back to Paige when things were going wrong.
Yeah.
And she was like, guys,
and she's
I'm
still
not
in that
gonna
hole.
Yeah. She's like, I didn't do this for nothing. Y'all figure it out.
It's ridiculous. She's in a bathroom. Digging a hole.
Digging a hole from
so funny. To the men's room.
Absolutely ridiculous. Right. But I love that they showed her like twice. I think they would cut back to her and she would hear the stuff on the comm and she was like, listen, I did this, we did that, we gotta figure this out. Something. Y'all do something.
So funny.
It's so funny. And we had to do a couple things. They figured out, all right, this is the exit, we're gonna put a dumpster here for them to jump out of the dumpster, and they made like this reaction between what did they use? They used
the bread thing,
the bread that makes it rise. Lemon juice and baking soda.
Yeah, exactly.
There we go. And they use it it will rise, so it's like something for them to land on. Now, throughout this point, like, we're halfway through the episode, they do a quick shot that they have decoded Natalia's name.
Yes.
So now we got them going after Natalia as they're trying to get her out. But they don't know that yet. So it becomes like this who can be faster type of thing.
She beat Walt.
Right, because Walt loved it.
I know. I thought it would been funny, though, if he was kind of like having a hard time losing to her, though. You know, I felt like he was really, obviously they're there for a mission, but it would have been like kind of funny and petty for him to be like,
I want to win and then help you.
All right, I'm purposely going to make this wrong move or whatever. But
and
yeah,
he didn't.
It was like a small thing, but yeah.
It wasn't even an issue for him.
It would have been an extra thing, but yeah.
And I liked how it wasn't as easy as the other matches that they were showing, like they were mic'd, like everyone could hear in the
Right, another
tournament what they were
challenge.
saying. Another challenge. So Walter had to be very nonchalant of saying the word, what was it, green beans or whatever?
Right.
And he starts talking about food.
Yeah.
And he
But
says
does a little pause and then goes green beans.
And
she
her
looks
face.
at him. Yeah, it was a
her
great
face,
little
like
moment.
a little twitch. Like,
And then she reiterates it.
Yes.
Yeah. Saying, I know a great place for green beans. Yeah.
And then he like directs her. That was a little far fetched for me.
With the W.
With the W,
I know,
the
I don't like that
WC,
either.
the
That was
water
only one.
closet. That was a little weird, but I mean, chess geniuses maybe.
Yeah, we'll give it to you.
We'll give it to you. Something about like the way he put the pawn, I think, the way
Right.
he directed it, it
Right.
made her look at it from a different angle. Think of WC, water closet for restroom.
I feel like he could have referred to a restroom or something differently, you know?
Yes. It's like you
Or
already
I really
snuck
need to go to the bathroom or
restroom.
something, you know? Anything.
I've heard the ladies' room is better.
Yeah.
Like anything.
Right,
I
right.
just didn't like that whole thing.
Yeah.
But it's fine. It's fine.
Anyways.
It's fine. She wins, and like you said, he doesn't fight it at all. She kind of takes off. Immediately is like, I need to use the restroom.
Yeah.
She knows. She knows. I loved how during this time they cut back to Paige, and she's like, is she coming?
Yeah.
Where is she? What are we doing? What's going on? And then she runs in. Green beans, green beans.
Yeah,
Yes,
totally
green beans.
so
Coming.
funny.
So
Paige.
So Paige.
Like down to earth. Like,
Right.
I
and like
love her.
so stinking good. And so they're together. You think they're ready, everything's gonna be great. They jump out of the window to go into the dumpster with where they've created that like pillow-ish whatever landing.
And like on the way out, she's like, with the guy that's throwing up, she's like, don't mind us, feel better.
Oh yeah, the third guy. We didn't
Yeah.
even mention him.
He's
The third
throwing up.
guy. You're right.
They knocked him out.
They had to knock him out. He had those noise canceling headphones. They got into his head where he couldn't handle it, which, you know, that's
Yeah.
cool.
That was very genius.
Very
thing. Like things
very
we wouldn't think
techie.
of, then when you wouldn't know.
Totally, but I believe it.
Yeah.
That it was something so psychological he had to get out of there, and then by default Walter went back in, and that's how he played her. So this guy's like throwing up, and they're like, "Don't worry about us. We're just gonna jump out this
Feel
window."
better.
I don't know why that graphic of them jumping
Yeah.
looks so bad.
Yeah, you hated it.
I did.
It was
I
that
cringed
last
both
like
times.
zoom, like not zoom,
It
but
was,
the
like,
close up
cut.
of right when they get in. Yeah,
And it was like, why did this have to look like that?
I know. Yeah, it
And
could
it
have been
made
better.
no sense to me.
It could have been so much better. And they do so much crazy like CGI stuff.
And it looked right. And
But,
this seemed
yeah.
something so simple where it
Right.
was like,
And this didn't even need to be CGI, really.
No.
Like, it seemed like they did some sort of something happening there, but they could have just used a stunt woman, and
yeah.
right? I feel
and
like
yeah, I didn't like it.
Yeah.
Both of them looked awkward.
this was the only thing.
It looked choppy,
other thing.
put together, and it wasn't like it was like I don't
Yes.
know, like it wasn't smooth, and it
Totally.
did not look good. I did not like the graphic of both of them jumping in, but
I
they jump in. Now we got Toby, who went and basically hotwired a car
Yeah.
to come take the dumpster and drive them, and they're thinking like, well, they're not gonna look in a dumpster for them. Little
Right.
do they know they are.
They like watched them get in there.
They watch them get in there, of course, and Happy, who's back at home trying to figure out, she's like, oh, you can escape going underground.
Right. And they're on this high speed chase with a garbage truck.
With a garbage truck. I can't. And I like how they do this sometimes in episodes where they show you how it was done. Like they go
Yes,
back.
a little Ocean's 11.
A little ocean. Yes, that's the perfect description of
Yeah.
it. Because what we see before we get the like flashback of how it went down, the truck is cornered by these cops, and they
Right,
start
and they
shooting
start
the
shooting.
dumpster. Obviously, we know they're not in there because it's Paige also in there. If it was just Natalia, I'd be like, maybe.
Right.
But Paige is in there. We're not
It's
gonna
just like the
Paige.
episode with the Paige's mom.
Right.
Where, yeah, we think she dies, and then they go back and show us really what happened.
Really what happened. Exactly.
that.
I love it. I loved it. And so we see this, we even cut to commercial, and I'm like, well, obviously they're fine.
Yeah.
They go back, cut back to the show, and it's literally the same shooting. They show you how it's done, and they use kind of chess moves. They say 3 chess moves is how we made this happen. Night block, which is when they use the horse. Another part I did not like. The graphic of the horse falling was so awkward, and I was like, hold on, you can't literally just cut this horse and make it fall and record that. It looked fake and awkward.
didn't notice that.
You didn't notice that? Am I the only one? I thought it looked funky. I didn't like it, and it was something so simple where it was like literally just tape this happening. I understand. So they use a horse, like a statue of a horse, to block the cops from getting to them. It gives them like a 15-second gap.
Right.
So that's the first thing, night block. The next thing was a queen swap, where they again use shoes and kick themselves out of the dumpster.
That was a little like.
That was a little How?
Also, how did they clear out all the dough that they were in enough to, like be in an open spot, right? Because they were like really in that dough.
They were like in there, yeah. That was a little
weird to me too.
But it's fine. It's fine. We'll give it to you.
Yeah.
And the last one, the pawn sacrifice, which was Toby. And he even says, he's like, I wasn't really a sacrifice because they're not really after me.
Right.
But he runs off and has to get in underground somewhere else.
Just crawls in through a little like sewer opening.
And they all make it in a sewer. Yeah. They're underground. They make it. They are like, we've done it. They explain how they do it. Very Ocean's 11. Super great. Natalia talks a little bit. I like how Paige asked her, how did you get involved? Because she's like, how do you feel? And she's like, I'm leaving my country.
Yeah, I love that.
Like, which can be super rough, even though, yes, you were kind of against your country.
Right.
Because of what happened to your dad, but you're leaving your country forever.
Yes, I love that moment, the way she was talking about it, and it was very logical. It made sense. Like, yeah, and it made sense that Paige would ask that, like, why would you want to leave this? You're pretty much a local celebrity.
Yeah.
And she's leaving, and she's like, it was worth it because that's my dad's mission. I really liked it. It was touching and made a lot of sense.
I want to see, I should have looked this up. I want to, what that actress's name is. I'm going on.
Natalia.
Well, right, but the actress.
I love She was good.
She was very good. I actually am curious if you think she's really like from another country?
Right. If her accent was good.
Really good.
Very good.
Super good. Super
I
good.
always listen for like little like,
Mariah Bonner. Mariah Bonner is her name. Bonner. She was born in Baltimore, Maryland.
Good for her.
Wow. Yeah, she was really good. Very believable.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, oh, this girl really could be from this place or Russia, whatever. Anyways, she was great, but I loved all of that. And then they get the next code word for their next person who's going to save them.
Right.
Peapod. They're like, these people love groceries.
They
or like love produce.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Totally. And they head back to the garage, end of the day. That's where we see Happy and Cabe have their moment. That's also where Ralph asks for help. There is one thing that Toby and Cabe have a moment when Cabe's like, how's she doing? And he's like, well, she's gonna get through it. And he mentions that Natalia says, in reference to like losing someone you love, that there's no refuge, just pain.
Just pain sometimes.
So, like, he was like, she just has to get through this pain.
Right.
Like, I like that. I also liked that moment. And the episode ends with Walter and Sylvester sitting down for another chess match. Yeah. That doesn't even happen because Walter upsets Sly one more time by saying, I sneezed on purpose. And then he smacks the chess piece set, whatever, once again. And then it ends on a illustrated graphic.
It was weird.
Which was weird, because that never happens, like you said.
I wasn't sure if that was like a reference to something.
Maybe somebody in the cast or crew did it.
Right.
Like drew it by hand or something.
Maybe.
And so they wanted to incorporate it.
But yeah, it was just so random to me.
It's a little weird.
Yeah.
It's a little weird. But that's the episode.
It was
so good.
It was really good.
Really, really good.
I really liked it.
We don't know if there's an episode next week just based on the fact that there was no previews, which that tends to be their pattern. Maybe they're just not done and they didn't put one together. They didn't edit a promo for next week. Yeah. Who knows? So we're not entirely sure. We didn't get a preview for next week. Do we have any predictions?
I don't know, but we do have a little bit of news and gossip.
Ooh.
That was on point, Josh. I know. You were on that.
Wow.
At JustCuz07, like last week, tweeted us saying, best news ever, Ray is back. There is a press release. SpoilerTV.com, Kevin Weissman is back.
All right.
So excited.
So we need to send
I would like to
Kevin.
think that we had a little bit of part of that because we've been asking. All the Scorpion fans, I think, have been crazy about wanting Ray back.
Totally.
Yeah.
We need to send him a little message.
He's
be like, hey,
in.
you need to come in.
You better be here.
You'll be right here. Don't worry. I'm sure he would love to come in.
Yes.
He has such a great time talking about the show.
Yeah.
Hanging out. So we will definitely have to let him know.
I'm
That's
excited
great.
about that. Yeah. Thank you,
yes.
JustCuz, for letting us know.
Thank you for letting, because that's huge.
Yes.
That is huge. I can't wait to see him come back and see how they incorporate him. I can't
so
wait.
excited.
I can't.
And to see why he's back
and
all
why
that
he's
stuff.
back.
How
everything.
he's doing. Is he better? Does he have a place?
Will he come back with like a girlfriend?
Ooh, I don't know.
Ooh.
But yeah, I'm excited.
Yes. Other than that, No, right?
No.
We're gonna see a little bit more of. Hopefully, we'll see more of Happy and her dad.
Yeah.
Don't leave us hanging for too long.
I don't know.
Don't just like ignore this now for 5 weeks and then come back season 3 and tell us about it.
Right.
Don't do
4.
that.
Yes.
All right. Well, everybody, thank you so much for joining us. We hope you enjoyed the episode as much as we did. Now, remember.
Can this be our sign out every week?
Josh, you're our favorite.
Yes.
We love you. Remember that we cover all shows here on AfterBuzz TV. You can catch Susannah on Speechless.
Speechless.
But
Walking
Walking
Dead
Dead.
just started.
Scandal, How to Get Away with Murder. I'm just naming shows. Grimm, naming shows I watch. Make sure you check those after shows too on AfterBuzz. Guys, thank you so much. I am Monse Bolanos. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Monse Bolanos, MonseBolanos. And you know who I'll always be there for?
Me.
Susannah.
SUSANNAH_KIM. Follow me, tweet me.
Yes, thank
Yeah.
you. We'll see you next week. Go watch Friends.
Yeah.
And Scorpions.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.